The loyalty space has really for decades been built on this idea of the rational economic model. This idea that consumers are weighing all their decisions around brands based on maximizing their economic result, their economic benefit. And so if you build a program or an experience or a pricing model that says you're getting the best deal with me, then consumers will always choose you. And in fact, if you look at almost any loyalty program in the market today, they're all really based on that foundational principle of the rational economic model. That if I create the right do this, get that structure, with some sort of ideally financial reward on the other end, on the get that end, that I'm going to win loyalty. I'm going to get consumers to choose my brand over the competitor. And that's actually been a pretty effective model for decades in the loyalty space until it wasn't effective anymore. And in fact, there's a lot of data right now that shows that that model, that rational economic model, that points and rewards, do this, get that, is in decline. The surest sign we have of that is industry-wide data that's for like 3 to 4 years now been consistent, that shows that people are enrolling in loyalty programs at record numbers, but they are engaging at a declining rate. So they're showing up, but they're not finding much there of interest. And I think the reason that is that this rational economic model that we built everything on is actually wrong. In fact, everything that we've learned in the last 10 to 20 years coming out of particularly the field of neuroscience, which is the field that lets us look into people's brains and see how they respond to particular stimuli, has taught us that we are not predominantly rational beings. That in fact, most of our decisions are made on an emotional basis, not a rational one. And in physiological terms, every decision that you make, that we make in this room at any moment, is actually being filtered through the emotion centers of the brain first and the rational centers of the brain only after that. And so the idea that we are influencing behavior by creating some very rational construct around economic benefit, it's falling down because we're learning it's not the way people think about the world. In fact, the way people think about the world looks a lot more like this. That we are dominantly feeling people, looking for human-to-human connection, and when we think about brands, we're thinking the same way about it. So a lot of what I do in the space of loyalty, and a lot of where I see it heading now, is shifting from the rational economic model into human-to-human connection, which is feels good for marketers who talk about it, but it also is really based on science. It's based on what we know now about how people process choices and decide what is important to them and what they filter out.